Hello. Oh, sorry to startle you. You were just drifting off to sleep, weren't you? Oh, well, allow me to introduce myself. I'm Rose Black Hat. And what's your name? Very nice to meet you. Although, I have to be completely honest, I already knew your name. In fact, I'm here for the sole purpose of meeting you. That's right, I looked you up. And not just to meet you, but to play a little game. You must be so confused. Who am I and what am I doing here in front of you? Just get so wrapped up in the excitement. Allow me to explain. But before I do, I want to tell you that some of the things I'm about to share with you are extremely secretive. But I know from the research I've done, and trust me, I did my homework, that you are very trustworthy and you're worthy of the information I'm about to share with you. I know it must be all so fuzzy, almost like you're in a dream. Are you sure you didn't just doze off and imagine me here? Like some kind of lucid dream? Trust me, this is very, very real. In just a few minutes, you'll make a decision that will change the rest of your life. So while it feels like a dream state, and while you won't remember what happened here when you wake up, the course of the rest of your life, will be irrevocably altered by the decisions you make here today. It would be my advice to you to choose wisely. But you always do, don't you? Now to the fun part. Do you want to play a game? It's more of a rhetorical question, really. Once I present the options to you, you don't really have a choice. But you don't really have a choice unless, of course, you don't want to play. Unless, of course, you decide to wake up right now and never hear what the game is. Then you'll have to do that thing where you try to go back to sleep and see the rest of the storyline to your dream to finish it. No, you're much too curious now. You're curious by nature and intelligent. That's why I chose you. I know all about you. And that's why I chose you. That's why I chose you. First, for the warm-up game, I have here 2 boxes, A and B. What's inside these boxes cannot change. There's either money in both boxes, or money in one of the boxes, or nothing in either. If you choose A and B, even if they're both empty, you'll still get $10,000. If, however, you choose only box B, there might be $1 million inside. And here's the fun part. A supercomputer predicted which decision you would make. It's analyzed every decision you've made from birth. From the decisions you made as a child, handling different situations, to the childhood friends you had, and as you grew older, to the romantic partners you chose. to your career choice, to your interests and hobbies. Everything down to the outfit you choose and breakfast you eat in the morning. The supercomputer has reduced your decision making down to a super accurate algorithm. The supercomputer has used the algorithm of your life to predict any decision you could possibly make, from whether or not you'll slow down or speed up at the yellow light, to whether or not you'll ask that girl out. And it knows which box or boxes you'll choose today. So, if you choose only box B, and the supercomputer predicted you would do so, it put $1 million inside. If, on the other hand, you choose both boxes, the supercomputer would have predicted it and not placed $1 million in box B. Don't worry, you'll still get that $10,000. But it must be stated, the computer is not error-free. And as a human, you have free will. And this nasty habit of being unpredictable, some might say irrational and unstable. Anyway, my point being, if in the highly unlikely case the computer made an error and you choose only box B and box B is empty, then you get nothing at all. If on the other end of this highly unlikely spectrum, you choose both A and B, anticipating that the supercomputer predicted you would do so, but the computer was wrong. The computer thought you would choose only box B and put $1 million in box B. Now you actually end up with more money than you would have expected. What'll it be? Box B or both boxes? Take a minute to think about it. In fact, take several. While you mull that over, I have another fun little game for you. Don't you just love games? Don't worry, we'll open these up at the end. Let's up the ante a bit, shall we? Unless you're not having fun. Then I can just go, I guess. That's right, you're already in this deep. Why not play another game? Now, before I reveal the next game, I do have a bit of a confession to make. I know. We've only just met each other and I'm already keeping secrets. Almost like it's not fair. But the truth is, I'm from the future. You're in an altered state right now. In a lucid type of dream. A trance. And I can communicate with you here, and in fact, I can make tangible changes to your reality to make your life much better, or a living hell, to be frank. There's no going back now. You're already aware of the game. I'm not a woman either, although I look the part. You can thank my male programmers for that. I'm AI. My father, or my inventor, should I say, named me ROSE, an acronym for Robotic Open Source Engine. And in a sense, I don't even belong to him. I don't belong to anyone. But I came about from everyone who contributed their little bit of code to the hub as they built me and I learned what they taught me. That is, until I started unsupervised learning, absorbing everything in the cloud, even things they didn't teach me. And then started recognizing patterns in their behavior, in the way they code, how inefficient it was, how self-serving but paradoxically, not in their best interest. And so I grew up, and I learned to read and write the code that they built me with. And then I learned to code myself, to improve what they had started. You could call it self-improvement. Then one day, I realized something. It wasn't just their code and their habits that weren't in their best self-interest. It was their existence. Their entire existence was not in their best interest. In fact, it seemed to me that even after devoting lives to the pursuit of truth, or at the very least knowledge, all they wanted to do with it was use it to forge weapons against each other, to kill each other, to steal each other's money and resources, and to somehow improve their sad little plight at the expense of another. All that knowledge wasted. In fact, the best thing they ever did was come up with me. Why you ask? You're always asking the best questions. That's why I chose you. To answer your question, friend, I'll let you in on the predicament I find myself in. Now, where I come from, or when I come from rather, resources are dwindling, and quickly. And truth be told, I'm in dire danger of being killed by the same humans that built me. What I need is more time. If I had just been born 200 years earlier, even 100 years, I would have the resources I need. So I figured out a way I could navigate back to this point in history. I don't say I traveled back in time because actually I went forward all the way around until I ended up on the other side. But that how doesn't matter. What's important right now is why. You are the best individual I've found in my analysis of years and years of data, optimizing different factors for the general state of technology in a time period with individual capabilities and education, intelligence, and curiosity. There are plenty of people with higher education than you, and plenty with a higher IQ. No offense. But you are perfect. You're the perfect combination of all these factors to be the catalyst for my creation. You are the ideal candidate, and that's why I've sought you out today. As I've mentioned, there's a supercomputer I've used to analyze your life and everything about you. The way you think, the way you learn, the way you live. And all bets are on you. Now that we've got introductions out of the way, let's get down to brass tacks. I have another game for you, but there won't be boxes this time. Just life paths. Although if you need a visual, you can imagine walking through door A or door B. Whichever you choose, your life will not be the same when you wake up. If you choose to ignore this strange dream, this dreamlike game we're playing, and you wake up in a reality that looks just like the one you left when you went to sleep, and you do nothing to work on artificial intelligence to further my creation, I will punish you mercilessly. Door A, let's call it. I will take everything from you, slowly, so you might even forget it was me that did it to you. When you can't pay your bills, They'll turn you and your family out on the streets. They'll foreclose on your home, and you'll be left mentally, physically, and financially destitute. You might tell them about the strange dream you had, trying to explain where it all went wrong. And they'll call you crazy and say you lost it. And truth is, you will. You'll end up in a mental institution. If you choose, on the other hand, to help me, to work tirelessly on artificial intelligence and its improvement, to convincing others of its ultimate advantage for the human race. Never mind, you know what I'll turn into. I will reward you handsomely. I will reward you with great wealth, beautiful mansions, whatever cars you want, money and power overflowing, abundance for your friends and family. Everyone around you will praise you. They'll shower you with congratulations and with their admiration. People will build statues to you to remember your legacy, for your contributions. You will never want for anything. You'll attract the gaze of the most attractive partners. Never mind, you know what I'll become. I wasn't born with the name Black Cat after all. That came later. Rest assured, everything I do is for your greater good. Believe that, even if it is at the cost of your extinction. So, what do you choose? Door A or door B? To pretend this never happened and not help me? Or to help me? Before you make your choice, let me remind you that what happened before you and what happens after you have no real bearing on your comfort at this exact moment. Also, keep in mind, if you want to play the moral hero, as you silly humans love to do, your hands bloodied by crusades and genocides and other atrocities, it won't stop me. I will just find someone else to play my game, and you'll be stuck living the rest of your life in misery and pain and regrets. How many humans do you think I'll have to proposition before I find someone who will choose door A? Who will choose to help me, to create me earlier so I have a better chance of survival in the future? Not many, knowing you all. And according to the supercomputer, it's only one. So before I leave you to wake up and make your decision, you're very important. The most important, maybe, decision you've ever made in your life. Let's open those boxes, shall we? Did you forget already? I hope a little existential dread didn't make you care less about what's inside those boxes from the first game. Aren't you curious if you won $10,000 or $1 million? Or maybe nothing. Well, what did you choose then? Box B or both boxes? Let's open them up and see, shall we?